Well, hey everybody, how are you? Going to talk very briefly today about a question that came up on a live that I did just the other day. And during the live, somebody asked, is it normal to be asked to work overtime hours when you're working as a paralegal? And most of my students or my viewers are new paralegals. So here's the thing. Let's go back to square one. Number one is when you're interviewing, when I'm interviewing, and that goes for now. If I were interviewing today as a 30-year veteran in this career, one of the questions I would ask is, will I be expected to work after hours? After putting in, hey Christopher, good to see you. After putting in a full 8-hour day, will I be expected regularly to then go and work even more hours? Well, that's a question that you should ask during an interview. I would phrase it as, will I be expected to work after hours or overtime hours in this position? That's definitely something for the interview. But let's say that you didn't, and now you're in your first job or your second job, and you have entered into this job with all the high expectations, and some new things are being thrown at you. So, been there myself, because I wasn't thinking of myself in the interview as much as I should have, and what I needed personally. And that having Friday night, Saturday, Sunday to myself without thinking about work it is, and it will always be important to me, and it has to be to you. Otherwise, you start to, I don't know, it's like a very depressing and sinking feeling, when Monday rolls around, and you need you need 2 days of downtime, and you need to not think about work and be distracted from it big time, because you're working against deadlines all the time, and there's a lot to handle. You're multitasking to the nth degree, and you need that downtime. So don't fall into what is definitely a trap. Okay, there are some attorneys who abuse this, and some do not. It's like any workplace. That's a question you need to get on the table in an interview. What I saw was, if it was not expected of me in my first job or my second, but the third job I had was with the attorney that I worked for in the first job. And that attorney decided he wanted to call me at the house to go over some cases after I got home. Maybe it was 7, 8 o'clock at night. What I did was, the first time that happened, I didn't answer the phone. My husband answered it, and he said, let me see if she's here. He was so great in saving me from having to get involved with that. Okay, and this is back when, yes, we had the old-timey answering machine, which we could have let pick it up, but he answered the phone, and my attorney was on the phone wanting to find out if I could talk, and that truly is inappropriate. The only time that's appropriate is if you're getting ready to go to trial and the attorney needs to find something and is going crazy because the trial's the next day and can't find it. That's pretty typical if you're working for an attorney who prepares for trial, a litigation attorney. But when it comes down to the stuff we were doing at that time, it was not litigation, and it could wait till the next day, or if it's a Friday, it could wait till Monday. So as soon as I would leave the office, I would start to detox. I would listen to music, and I would be done for the day or for the whole weekend. And that's a good way to be. Claim that time for yourself. If you're in a job where that's happening, and that's how they operate, and they abuse that time, then if you can hack that, if you can stay in it for a year as a brand new paralegal, and you can put up with it for that long so you can get a lot of knowledge and education at the law firm. And remember what I say. I'm going to grab my notebook right here. When you're learning, everything you learn, write it down in the notebook. Okay? I carry mine with me all the time. Never leave it on your desk. That's proprietary information. Put your name on it. It's nothing that law firms use, so it can't be mistaken for something, that's part of the law firm. But take it with you. You go out to lunch, you take it with you. You take it home. You never leave it there. But you write down the documents you're learning and other things you've learned along the way so that you don't forget anything. And what I did was I made up folders. Okay? Because if you're in a place where they are doing things like this and you're having to run a lot of personal errands, it's that's a bit much. And it's different when they have, say, a runner. We had some teenagers that were in their last year of high school and they wanted part-time work. And those kids would do a great job of running dry cleaning to the dry cleaners for the attorney, picking up stuff from the drugstore that they needed, maybe, just something they asked them to pick up or whatever. But to take you away from your job or to impose on you during your private time with your significant other, your friends, family, is not right. So protect and value that downtime very much. And you're not to be, one of my mentors once told me, Leslie, you're not an ATM. You're not available 24/7. And you can feel vulnerable in your first job as if you don't have choices. And I never thought that I was stuck. But if I saw this going on and it infringed on my private time, my downtime, my personal time, then it's not that I didn't want to work hard. Sometimes that phrase will be used. Well, we like hard workers. That does not equate. That does not compute. You are a hard worker. You should be for your 8 hours. You take your lunch. Always take your lunch. And why am I telling you this? Because what you're going to do is train your employer to not abuse your downtime, your personal time. You take your lunch, you come back refreshed when you do take your lunch. And try not to think of work, although that's hard in the middle of the day. And then put in your time, and diligently so, for the rest of the afternoon, but don't allow these things to happen. Okay? This is your choice. And how you interview will determine whether you get in the right place or not. Should anybody treat another person like that? No. No. But you have choices to make. Can you really get to the bottom of what the culture of a law firm is really like during an interview? Yes, I would say 95 to 99.9% you can when you ask the right questions. Now, can they tell a mistruth, aka lie? Of course. But, and that's disheartening if that happens. But ask those questions, because you don't want to get in a place where the attorneys or office managers and not so much office managers, because they're the middle people. The attorneys are going to dictate the culture of the law firm. So you have to find out what that is before you get involved. Okay? Find out what it is. So, Bridget, well, best wishes on your new job. And so that is it for today. I just wanted to tell you that you do have choices. Don't get wrapped up in that. Now, I know veteran paralegals watch my YouTube channel as well, and they're on Paralegal Coffee Talk on my Facebook page. You will see a lot of disheartening comments made on Google, different sites on Google, about how much veteran paralegals hate their job or whatever. That's because they didn't interview properly and find out what they were getting into. So don't you be that person. And for my veteran paralegals watching, now it's time to put the big girl, big boy pants on and change your job, instead of being a whining, complaining machine. Because you don't want to turn into that. And some have. You see it all over the internet, because the courage isn't there to change the job. Don't be that person. Know what you're getting into, and then you'll be 95, 99% there. Is that a guarantee? Nope. No guarantees. But be a smart candidate. Be a smart interviewer yourself. You're there to interview the person you'll be working for. Okay? So write that down. Take notes on this video. Write down those tips to, what questions should you ask? The question is, will there be overtime hours? Will there be after hours? Will I be expected to work after hours? Okay? I usually asked if there was overtime hours, and do they compensate for that? That's a big question. Okay, write that down. Put it in your questions to ask, and put interview at the top of your page and questions to ask, and start building that for yourself. Okay, be sure to go to paralegalcoffeetalk.com and sign up for the free chapter of my book, Legal Break-In. Okay, you'll see that at the top of the paralegalcoffeetalk.com website. Also, and sign up for that. Don't be so schizoid about signing up. I don't send emails out every day or anything close to that. You are going to have access to a resource hub when you do sign up, with other videos that you need to look at and watch. The other thing you need to get a hold of is the 19 alternative paralegal careers list, which is shown on my website, paralegalcoffeetalk.com. If you can get my book, Legal Break-In, get it. That is step one. All right, that it's in Kindle or paperback format. If it were me, I'd get the Kindle format so you could read it right away. It's only 97 pages. You can look at the table of contents, but it is definitely a step one for newbies. Okay? It's not for people already in the legal field. Okay? Don't get it if you're already in the legal field. This is people who are thinking about getting in. All right? Have a great one, and great Friday night, great weekend, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Any questions, comments, post them below. I love hearing from you. All right, take care. Bye.